Welcome to Foundation Friday. The dedication and covenant of silent unity was signed on December 7th, 1892 by Charles and Myrtle Fillmore, founders of the Unity movement. It is unlikely when they signed this covenant that they had any idea how far-reaching unity would be as it evolved into the church we know and love today. We invite you to join us as we explore and share some of the original ideas, teachings, and writings of the men and women who created the foundation of the Unity Church.
Hi there. Thank you for joining us today for our Foundation Friday program. Today, we are once again going to enjoy the folksy wisdom of Lowell Fillmore. You may remember that Lowell Fillmore was the oldest child of Unity co-founders Charles and Myrtle Fillmore. And today we are going to look at his lesson titled Divine Order. That's kind of a interesting lesson title. But in this lesson, he's actually going to define for us the true spiritual meaning of divine order. And unity, we talk about that all the time, but rarely do we find a definition quite as relatable to the one that Mr. Fillmore offers us in this lesson. So I'm going to read it to you and remind you that Lowell Fillmore tended to end his lessons with 7 different daily meditations. So at the end of this, there'll be a short mantra or meditation for you to use throughout one day, and we'll have 7 different ones. So what I'm saying is you might want to have a pen and paper and write them down when we get to them. Here we go. Remember that there is a mighty unifying principle of order pervading and sustaining the universe. If this principle were to fail for even an instant, the universe would fall to pieces. This principle is often referred to by truth students as divine order. Divine order is the perfect love of God expressing itself harmoniously in His creation. Divine order pervades and controls all visible material things as well as all infinite, silent, unseen powers. Every tiny speck of matter is constructed in a beautiful, orderly way. A microscope will reveal this fact. Even man's affairs are influenced by the principle of order. If this were not true, a man could not even be alive. When a man promotes the expression of divine order in his body and affairs by consciously conforming to God's plan, he experiences a greater degree of order in all of his affairs. Having free will, man can bring his affairs into better order by willingly accepting God's orderly plan. When things go wrong, we say that they are out of order. We mean that they are out of accord with God's principle of divine order. When we work in accord with the principle of divine order, everything cooperates with us, and our affairs are pleasant and harmonious. Thousands of men walking in an army can walk along together in an orderly foundation by keeping step and following the command of an officer. They move from one place to another in an orderly fashion. But if these same men do not follow the command of their officer, they become a mob in which each man gets in the way of the other. There are human states of mind that are not in accord with the principle of divine order. Such states of mind might be described as worry, fear, hate, and doubt. There are many more, but these four illustrate the negative character of all of them. When we realize that a person is in a hurry, he often does things in a way that is not orderly. In fact, he may waste his time and his material by making unnecessary mistakes. If he is cooking hurriedly, he may burn his fingers, spill the soup, or drop a dish on the floor. A man who is in a great hurry may rush to the station and then discover he has left his railroad ticket at home. Fear often causes people to do things in a disorderly way. Because they are afraid, they become panicky and are not able to think clearly. They may be afraid to face their problem, and by not facing it, they then bring themselves into greater trouble later on. When someone cries fire in a crowded theater, many people are sometimes injured by being trampled upon because of the disorder resulting from fear. A courageous way of getting out of a burning building is an orderly way because it includes courtesy, clear thinking, confidence, calmness, and poise. We can always do our job quickly without being in a hurry when we are interested in it and have faith that it really can be done. When we are poised and have faith, we can do much better thinking and acting than we can when we are upset by fear, worry, hurry, and doubt. Methods that seem to be orderly when measured by world standards can be made still more orderly when they are brought into closer accord with the principle of order that keeps the stairs in their courses, that keeps the stars in their courses and the earth spinning in space through the centuries. A watch that keeps good time is the result of a man's orderly ideas and workmanships, but a man's watch falls far short of God's idea of order, for it can run and keep time only for a year or for a few years, compared with God's millions of years time cycle. The principle of order is always here with us, so it is not a matter of our seeking for order in outer affairs, but of our bringing our consciousness into accord with the order that God has put into our spirit and that finds expression in all of our affairs. God is the source and principle of all true order. Jesus shows us in his teachings that to be in divine order, we must love and forgive, be confident, agree with our enemies, do the will of God rather than our own will, be generous, patient, kind, and above all, have faith in the Father's goodness. Our daily experience proves to us that lack of faith in God and in ourselves throws our affairs out of order. Malice, envy, and unforgiveness are attitudes of mind that cause inharmony in our life because they are not in accord with the principle of divine order. Divine order has nothing in common with destructive, negative, doubtful, and fearful methods. A person who has confidence in the power of God within himself can move joyously and successfully along life's way without meeting resistance from his neighbors or the forces of nature. When we are in tune with divine order, we are safe, happy, wise, patient, kind, forgiving, and unafraid. Let us now enter into the spirit of divine order and abide there while we cooperate with God in establishing the harmonious kingdom of heaven upon the earth right here and right now. Okay, as promised, here are his suggestions for daily meditation. And it was Lowell Fillmore's practice to take one thought, one affirmation, and use it throughout the day in time of meditation, in time of confusion, just when you remember it to affirm the message of the day. Here's the first one. I'll read it through slowly and then I'll read it through again. And if you're trying to write it down and I'm still too fast, just stop the video and start it up again. Here we go. I am guided and prospered by infinite wisdom and love, and all my affairs are in divine order. Okay, here I go again. Same one. I am guided and prospered by infinite wisdom and love, and all my affairs are in divine order. Okay, here's day 2. Abiding in God's love, I need never be out of order. And again, abiding in God's love, I need never be out of order. And here's day 3, it's a long one. Because nothing is too great or too small to take to God in prayer, I need not hesitate to ask His help in solving either my little or my big problems. And I'll read that again. Because nothing is too great or too small to take to God in prayer, I need not hesitate to ask His help in solving either my little or my big problems. And here's the next one. It's another long one. Let the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Father God, that I may abide safely in thy love and order. And I'll read that one again. Let the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable in thy sight, O Father God, that I may abide safely in thy love and order. Okay, here's day 5, another long one. There is sufficient time to do all things in decency and order. I am therefore not confused by a sense of hurry in doing any task. I know that God's time is infinite, and with his help, all things can be done in an orderly way. Okay, I'm just going to read that all the way through and then I'll do it slow once again. There is sufficient time to do all things in decency and order. I am therefore not confused by a sense of hurry in doing any task. I know that God's time is infinite, and with his help, all things can be done in an orderly way. Now I'll do it one more time slowly. There is sufficient time to do all things in decency and order. I am, therefore, not confused by a sense of hurry in doing any task. I know that God's time is infinite, and with his help, all things can be done in an orderly way. Okay, day 6, we're almost done. This one's not as long. Fear has no power to disrupt my orderly thinking. God's love casts all fear out of my consciousness. leaving me courageous and poised. I'll read that slowly again in case you missed some of it. Fear has no power to disrupt my orderly thinking. God's love casts all fear out of my consciousness, leaving me courageous and poised. Okay, and day 7, this one's short, you're going to love it. I'll read it slowly. My strength is renewed as my soul abides in quietness and confidence. And I'll read that again. My strength is renewed as my soul abides in quietness and confidence. I hope you got all that. You can rewatch the video if you need to. That's one of the nice things about having it on video. You can go back and forth as much as you want. Before we go, please know that you matter. You are sacred, and you are so, so very loved. Namaste.
Thank you for joining us, and let's stay connected and grow in spirit. We are on Facebook. Search for Unity Church of El Cajon and follow us and like our posts. You can reach us on YouTube at Unity Church of El Cajon. Please subscribe to our channel, watch our videos, and leave comments which can help us improve. We are on the web at unityofelcajon.org. Email or call our church office to receive our weekly newsletters, which lists all of our activities and opportunities to learn and grow together.